All right. Let's get this out of the way first. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Tailboard Talks Firefighter podcast are solely those of the speakers, guests, and host, and do not in any way represent the thoughts or views or opinions of any other employer, partnership, or sponsor. The material and information in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should be used at the listener's discretion.
Oh, thanks.
Because then we can do is...
Sponsor me.
I tried with Dunkin' Donuts. They never answered me.
You tried?
I mean, I sent them like a
You know,
DM.
their coffee's terrible, right?
In what regard?
Like they're something about they use leftover beans and they just keep running water through it all day. Like it's not even.
It's called recycling.
That's disgusting.
It's good for the environment.
No one cares about
I've
that.
never heard that. I've never heard that at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I heard. And the people who work there are always mean.
They just don't.
They're mean.
No, they just want you. They want you to give your good coffee and get out of the way. They don't need. If you walked up to Dunkin' Donuts and ordered what you ordered today, I'd be mean to you too. I'd be like, shut up and just take this coffee and get out.
It's like the only thing I look forward to.
I'd be like, go across the street to Target and buy the creamer you want. I'm just going to give you coffee because I'm not putting up with.
That was really embarrassing ordering.
Process.
I'm not going
to look up Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not even gonna validate your ideas by looking up Dunkin' Donuts. Why don't you introduce the show?
Remember how this
Never
went
mind.
last time?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tailboard Talks podcast. And I'm here in Angie's barn again on her sprawling acreage estate. And today is actually, because I'm really good at days, even though I went out for New Year's Eve last night and woke up this morning and saw it was the first. I still forgot that today was Wednesday.
Yep.
I thought it was Tuesday for some reason. So we're actually talking to you on New Year's Day, which is very exciting.
Happy New Year!
Merry New Year, which means I'll have to edit this tonight and put it out tonight because I forgot what day it was. But it's all good. That's how you know that it's current.
Yep.
Because we had no choice otherwise to be. But Angie really wanted to talk about, 1, how much she hates New Year's. 2, how much people frustrate her in general.
Yep.
But we talked about all that already with specific names. Now in the episode, we want to get across to everybody to keep it simple. And that's going to be kind of the overarching idea for today is with your fitness stuff, and Angie likes to talk about nutrition stuff, and with your training stuff. It doesn't have to be that tough. Much easier than you think. We're going to go against the conventional wisdom a little bit. Definitely against hustle culture a little bit, because Angie likes to do that too. And just keep it simple. Angie gets frustrated a lot. She likes to fight a lot.
Spicy.
You're probably getting frustrated now with how much I'm talking.
No. I just got everything in my head is yep, I want to talk about that. I want to do that. I want to talk about that.
All right, so hit the pause button and what's in your head right now?
Well, first of all, you're so right about not knowing what day it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
go on.
I never know what day it is, okay? And how angry am I that it's not January 1st, it's not a Monday? I feel like at that point it would all align.
I mean, I thought it was Tuesday. We were driving up here and I was like, oh, it's Tuesday. That means I can skate Thursday because I'm working Friday. And then I got sad again because I was like, wait, no, today's Wednesday. I'm like, crap, that means I got to record and put it out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all, I've gone back and forth 2 or 3 times today on the day of the week alone.
Well, screw the resolutions.
Okay.
Because I never know what day it is anyway. I feel like half of us that's in the service don't know what day it is. And I think, like you said this morning, you were like, I keep forgetting things are closed.
Yeah. I feel like it's the first New Year's I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, so it's not, I think, too, as you get older, it's New Year's isn't as whatever.
Yeah.
But I hate to say that this was probably the last year, or Ben was asking me, and he's like, well, what do you have for New Year's resolutions? And I'm like, nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've accomplished the things I've wanted to accomplish, and now I'm just I just want to be consistent in the things that I've been in. I think while resolutions can be motivating, we don't continue with motivation. That's just not how we work.
Because they didn't believe me that Quitter's Day was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Apparently there's a Quitter's Day.
I think it's the 2nd or 3rd week in January.
Which comes to my next point. If you change things, you take one day and you change a million things at once, and you're trying to go on this I'm going to eat right. I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to do this. Now you're just making a stress ball out of things that should be good for you, and you're going to fail. You're going to fail if you change everything at once.
The second Friday of January. So January 10th this year.
The second Friday? Is that just like everyone stops going to the gym?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks of trying really hard at something, and it's a Friday. So you're like, well, that's the end of that. I'll pick it back up on Monday, and you just never pick it back up. It makes a lot more sense when you look up like the reason behind it, second Friday.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So January 10th.
These gyms are making so much money.
Oh, yeah. That's what they bank on, is signing everyone up for the first 2 weeks, and then they have them, and they never show back up again. So there's no wear and tear on the equipment.
Okay.
There's no wear and tear on the utilities. It costs less to run the place, and you're just paying
Or
monthly.
half the people, they sign up, and then they don't cancel their membership. So then
that's what they're banking on.
Yeah, because then they just keep getting charged.
So that's their ideal client, is someone who pays them and never
me.
shows up, because then you clean less, you repair the equipment less, you replace it less.
But,
it's perfect.
Yeah. So let's talk about keeping it simple then.
Okay.
So if you were to give people advice, and if you were like, if you want to make some kind of change, what do you think? What advice would you give to be the biggest change to make with the most smallest thinking? Does that make sense?
Nope. But I'll pretend like it did. Well, I would, like all the boring stuff, like it depends on what their goals and restrictions and barriers and blah, blah, blah is. But let's assume that they're like legitimately ready to do something or adjust something or whatever. They reached the end of their rope with that, and they're like, I'm just sick of feeling this way or doing this thing. What should I do? And the first thing, man, I'm trying to think back to that article about that I wrote, and I forgot all the details of. You have to tie some sort of significance to it. You have to tie some sort of like why this is important. And I don't think telling other people your plan is enough to do it. Like, that's just another form of motivation, right? But you essentially have to tie an outcome to it that's more important than the suffering you're going through now. I guess that comes a lot of part of like you making the decision to be better and stuff. But I would tell people to start with the smallest possible increment of that thing, but don't let that restrict you from what you want to do. And it's different than the restriction that you kind of brought up before we started going. If you say like, my New Year's resolution is to get in shape, I'm going to do that through running. I used to run. There's a marathon in Chicago in October. I'm going to do that. That's my way of getting in shape this year. I'd say, like, well, logically, you should start walking first. Right? And you should go in this walking program, a Couch to 5K program, and then you up it from there, and you go to like 10K, and then you go to a half, and blah, blah, blah. But I would also say that if it's February and it's a 55-degree day, and you want to go out for a run, and your program says you have to walk 1 mile, and you're like, I really want to run 5 miles today, get your ass out there and you run 5 miles. Yeah. It might hurt a little bit, and you might set yourself back from your program a little bit. But if you're feeling good and you have the physical ability to do it, and you're not going to like significantly injure yourself, it's always going to hurt a little bit. Yeah. Then go do it. And I think that's something that a lot of people get in the way is there's a choke point of like, the secret in the fitness industry is like the first 8 to 12 weeks, everything is magic. Everything works. If you've never lifted before and you go into a gym, your first 8 to 12 weeks, you're going to be like quadrupling your PRs every single week because your brain's turning on and your muscles are organizing and your nervous system is organizing itself better. So you're becoming more efficient, and the muscles you have are actually being used to their capacity over that first 8 to 12 weeks. And then past that, you enter the dark ages where just nothing happens and it's just a struggle. But there's that choke point of like, I'm getting better and I'm feeling great and I don't want to just walk a mile today. I want to go try running. Yeah. But the program says no, so you stick to the program and then you feel stifled. Right. And you're like, well, this program sucks. I'm going to go find another program. And you end up shopping around and you just never make progress, and then you give up on it and you never change, right? So it's good to have a plan. It's good to have a program and a goal and structure and all that. But I mean, it's also fine to throw it out the window once in a while and just do what makes you feel good. Yeah. Because that's the whole point of this thing. Yep. So I did that the other day with lifting. I was like, I'm just going to do my program says trap bar deadlift, a stagger trap bar deadlift. I'm just going to do that. And it's challenging, but it's like the one I just do frequently. So it's no big deal. So I know what weights I'm going to get up to. And it's this many rounds, and I get these movements worked in. It'll take like 45 minutes, and it's kind of like a set it and forget it thing. Then I watch way too many Bugenhagen videos. and I drank way too much coffee, and I was like, I'm just going to rip this bar off the ground today.
I was going to say, come on.
And so then I was like, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like. And I ended up doing just triples of 315 for no good reason. I haven't straight bar deadlifted in years.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just going to rip 315.
It felt pretty good, didn't it?
It felt great.
Are you sore?
No, I'm fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I've been doing other stuff. So,
okay, yeah. So
315 is in the wheelhouse. It's not like an abnormal amount. But I was like, I'm just going to rip the bar off the ground. I'm not going to do 3x8s. I'm just going to do triplets and or triples and just go for it until my back feels tired.
Yeah.
And I got like 4 rounds in of triples. And then I put straps on and got like 2 more rounds of triples. And I was like, that's pretty good. Then I hit the Airdyne and did conditioning. But that workout gave me more benefit than like my boring ass one that I would have regretted later. Like, maybe next week I'll try straight bar deadlifting and something comes up, or I'm skating, or I'm doing something else with Nathan. I don't do it. So that would be my roundabout way of telling people, like, find a plan, start incrementally slow, find the smallest version of what your largest goal is. But if you feel good, just
like do it.
Rip it, man. Yeah, go for it and have a good time and do the thing that you want to do. Like, you want to run and be in shape and feel good. If you have an opportunity to do that, then do it.
Right.
Yeah, like I expected today my back was going to be sore, and like my hamstring that's been a problem is going to be a problem after doing that. And I'm lucky that it wasn't. But that's part of it too. You can't do that. You also can't do that stuff and just be like, well, I feel good, so I'm just going to go crazy today.
Yeah.
And this is going to feed my soul, so I'll be okay. And
you will be
debilitated.
Yeah. I made that mistake.
It might hurt, and you might actually hurt yourself.
And it won't come back for like a week.
Yeah.
Because that happens.
But it's part of it.
Yeah.
Right? You're in it for the long haul, and if you're that enthusiastic about accomplishing that, you'll be like, okay, well, I'll be smarter next time I get squirrely, but I'm still going to do the thing.
So programming then, because I think that programming confuses people.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they're choosing a program or whatever the case may be, there's so many that are like online that are geared towards people or firefighters or women, or how do you give advice to them onto picking a program necessarily? Or do you think maybe you shouldn't pick a program?
Like all things being equal, you should pick a program.
How do you know it's a good program?
You don't. You got to run it by somebody. You got to ask somebody else about it.
Yeah.
Reviews are cool, but I mean, everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
And it's got to fall in line. I think most importantly, it's got to fall in line with what you want to do. Like I got into biking 2 years ago, and everybody says, like, if you want to make improvements, you got to hire a cycling coach. You got to do this and that. But I don't want to be like a competitive cyclist.
Right, you're just like doing it for fun.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin it.
I wouldn't be happy with a cycling coach because they'd be like, today's a 3-hour ride. I'd be like, but I want to go do the deadlift thing. And those would conflict. And doing both is a bad idea, probably, at the same time.
I used to do it.
So it's got to, it's a bad idea. It turned out to be a bad idea. So it's got to fit in line with what you want to do.
Yeah.
You can get the best cycling coach, but if you want to do deadlifts all day, then it's going to be a bad program. Mm-hmm. But I would run it by someone, and there's plenty of people you can run it by. Yeah. Most likely the person that you're running it by is the person you should be paying for a program, because you're going to them to critique someone else's stuff.
That's true.
They're probably just busy or more expensive. Yeah. Or they're your friends, so you feel awkward doing it. But I would not.
I was gonna say I would not do programming from a friend. I feel like don't mix business with friendship.
It's tough.
I feel like
you guys
you
at
can't
work
do that.
I program for.
Yeah.
And I keep it loose. I keep it very loose. It's not a real structure. I put in 2 like strength sessions and 2 conditioning sessions a week. Yeah. And I say pick like 2, maybe 3 of these a week, and whatever ones you don't do, I'll carry over the next week, and I'll switch the ones you do. Right. Kind of thing. And workouts stay kind of the same, but with adjustments every week for 2 months, and then it's a new batch of stuff.
There you go.
So it's just loose.
Yeah, so if you're not Chris's friend, feel free to hit him up.
Yeah, you can still pay. I'll take anybody's money.
Yeah. I think that for sure people, at least I think women can be a little bit harder than guys walking into a gym with a program. It might be easier for guys. I think guys are not they don't necessarily need the crowd around them in order to like do something or feel a certain way. So my advice at least is if you don't know what kind of programming to do, start just dropping into places just to see what you like. You know, like there's an F45 around. If you like CrossFit, there are CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
Make sure that the coaches that you have are good coaches. If you don't know, you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Make sure that, you know, things are aligning and with what you want. And I don't think if someone's like goal is, well, I just want to lose weight or I just want to like do something like that, I think the first thing that you need to do is move. Maybe not. Yeah, you can eat right. I think diet, honestly, by far is the hardest thing.
The hardest
to
thing
change.
for sure. Yeah.
Diet's it's the hardest thing to change.
Yeah.
But
I think the group classes, I didn't even think about those because it's not my life anymore. Those are the best way to do almost anything.
just stay consistent.
Yeah.
Because you get gym friends, which is great. And you have like the support.
Well, and it's just there. Like you just go do
Cross
the thing
kicks.
and then you're out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't have to think.
Yeah.
And I think that's the easiest part about it is because it's overwhelming. It's fitness. You can make fitness overwhelming when you have no background, no idea. And even when you do have backgrounds, I used to be a program hopper. I program hop all the time. It was terrible.
Yeah, you don't get anywhere.
Because then I'm like, this isn't enough. This isn't enough.
Yeah.
What is this? This isn't enough. But then
But
now, fast forward.
You're doing every program at 60%,
well,
75%. Because you would walk into a
guess.
program, just guessing. You would walk into a program and it would say, today's WOD is front squats, kipping pull-ups, and a 400-meter run.
okay.
You'd be like, well, I don't like running. I really like front squatting. I'm going to hammer down on front squats. Since you just give me this program, my shoulder's a little janky. I'm
I
just going
just
to do
love how you have to add in the kipping pull-ups.
I put in all three of the worst parts of
Oh my
CrossFit.
God! First of all, CrossFit is not just kipping pull-ups.
Kipping.
You're so salty with CrossFit.
Kipping everything. Kipping handstand push-ups. And then,
Well, yeah, that I will admit that those are.
so what
those
you'll
are
do
not
is you'll
smart.
say, or what I would do, okay, I'll do front squats because I like those. I don't want to do kipping pull-ups because I think those are dumb. I'm just going to do inverted rows on the barbell or on a TRX.
Yeah.
And then I don't have, this isn't 400 meters. I'm just going to jump on the rower for 45 seconds and do that instead.
Yeah, it's still
So
better
you-
than nothing.
It is, but you're not doing the program.
No, you're not.
And then if they're like, all right, post your times and we're going to scale this one up next week, you're like, okay, so now I'm just going to do that for a minute. You're not getting the input that they're giving you.
Yeah.
So you're not getting out of it. So you're like, well, this program sucks. I'm not any faster of a runner.
Yeah.
When they're like, well, you've been running
Well,
for
you haven't really been
2
doing
months. We're like,
anything.
well, I use the rower.
Well,
so,
right, exactly. No, well,
so
right.
that's the
I get
problem with
that.
program hopping. Now, if you go to a gym, if you go to like 5 different CrossFit gyms, at least then they can control the variables of you like subbing out movements and stuff
For
like that.
sure. No, for sure.
And that's better. But if you're just going online and like looking at firefighter workouts and looking at tactical athlete workouts
that's
and
the
looking
thing,
at
too.
endurance workouts and mixing those, that's never gonna.
No, like it's
anything.
it's so random, and
Yeah.
like I think that a lot of people too don't understand complemented movements, right? So like I've even had people change programming like at a gym or something, and they just made a pull push, a pull, and
It's
I'm like,
way more fun. Yeah.
like why did you change that? Like there's no why are you changing it like this? Like you should know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
So where do you start with? Did we talk about nutrition already?
No, not really.
Where
So
Go ahead.
for me, for my advice for people with nutrition is do not try to just go and like eat correctly or what you think is correct right away.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's not going to work. I hate to say be the person that says, and I'm sure there's people out there who could do it, but if you are in a firehouse, good luck, for one. I was telling Chris earlier that I have my clients really focus on one thing first for quite a few weeks, actually, in order for them to get a better idea of maybe tracking it or knowing what the amounts look like or whatever, which I'll start usually with just protein. Say, okay, like this person has a goal to hit, I usually have them actually track their food without me giving them a diet on my Fitness Pal. And I look at it for one weekend day and one weekday, because weekdays for people and weekends seem to differ a lot.
Yeah.
And so then I get to kind of look at it and kind of see like, oh, this person, you know, doesn't hit a good protein goal. Like they're not hitting their protein. They're having a lot of this. So I kind of get a good idea. Well, then I'll say, okay, we need to work on X. So let's say protein goes first. So all I want you to do is just track your protein. That's all I want you to do. I want you to aim for this amount. I will give them a macro for a protein goal.
Yeah.
Aim for this amount, and we're just going to do that. I don't care about your carbs. I don't care about your fats. I just want you to hit this goal. And normally, they'll eat less of the other things on like if they're doing that already.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a win-win in
You almost
that
have no
situation.
choice. To get that much protein, you will be uncomfortable eating the stuff on top of it.
I have to ask.
You typically do.
Well, like how good? Well, okay, so like everyone always asks me this question, and they're
1
always
gram
like,
per pound of body weight.
or is it the gram per kilogram
That'd be
of
half.
body weight?
So it'd be
which is actually more real. That's actually what we should be doing.
1 gram per kilogram of body weight.
Yes, it should be per kilogram.
If you want to be weak, yeah.
What?
If you want to be.
Oh, no way.
I don't match. I'm just saying what would be optimal
It's
would be 1
kilogram.
per pound of body weight.
Well, like I don't. So okay, someone my size, when they say that, I would have to. I'd have to eat 100. I'm 126 pounds.
Okay.
I'd have to eat, if you want to do that, 126 grams of protein.
It's good math.
Oh my god. Why do I?
No, that was a big sticking point for you right there. That was good. You put that together quick. Go on.
I have no more coffee left. Oh my gosh.
I had to sound that one out. We had to do a word problem for that one. Go on.
That
So that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't need that much.
Would it be bad if you had it?
Couldn't. It could. Well, I mean, not like it would be bad, but it would be a waste. Because at the end of the day, you're just peeing it out. You're peeing it out or you're storing it.
So let's go back to your first part of that, right? Let's say you want to eat 150 grams of protein a day because you're going to CrossFit this thing. If a little bit's good, a lot bit's more. I'm going to kip it to get the extra 15 grams in there or whatever it is, 25 grams. If you eat that much protein, aren't you going to eliminate some of the other junk that you would
for
feel?
sure, yeah.
Right.
I guess if you look at it in that
waste.
sense, no, it's not a waste.
Yeah, so it's still a net positive.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'm pretty sure, and this is going off memory, when I looked at it last to do like nutrition talk at a department, I'm pretty sure they studied up to 4 grams per pound of body weight for up to 90 days, and there's no detrimental effects on your system at all. I think those are the numbers. But it's also a lot.
Yeah.
Let's say you're shooting for 126, okay, and you get 90. It's pretty good. That's like the 0.8.
Oh no, that's really good.
Yeah, that's like the 0.8.
So
which
yeah,
is lower
so you
than the
would
original.
so it's actually fun to give clients way higher protein goal.
Yeah.
Because
make them feel like they can't measure up and make them feel defeated.
No,
and
I'm like,
did a good
I
job
tricked
anyway. You know how you've been obsessing and stressing over getting that much protein, you didn't? It was a trick. That's like when you tell me to be somewhere half hour ahead of time because you know I'll be late.
So just focus on protein first. One thing at a dang time. One thing.
Okay. All right.
Then after a couple of weeks, add in more stuff.
I like it. What are you focusing on this year then?
Me or just people?
You.
Surviving.
Good. You need more protein for that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, so like I said, screw New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
So I started what I have been wanting to do like 2 weeks ago, which was just be consistent.
Okay.
I was not consistent.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I feel really good this week. And I'd be like working out 5 days of the week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the next week I'm like, nope.
Nothing.
Maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, no, get your shit together and just be consistent and not really like, and I am following a program.
I would say, did you go back to doing stuff that you enjoyed more than like you did out of obligation kind of?
So like I'm back CrossFitting.
Sick.
But I mean, like I adjust things that I need to adjust because I have an injury I'm still milking.
Good, I'm glad we can admit it.
But the program, so it's great though, because the programming that I am following is the boring stuff that works. Like I know it's not the sexy stuff.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna sexy stuff. We're gonna get to the fun stuff when you let me coach you a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll get intense again and like yell
Yeah.
And like play loud music and throw stuff.
I would prefer.
That's the fun stuff.
I would prefer that.
That's what I've been doing is like I'm getting back to not being such a dork about stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And like worrying about crossbody patterns and
Yeah. No, you can't.
And just making like
You limit yourself.
well, it just limits my brain. Like I like doing single-legged stuff and all that stuff because of transfer, and you get a much more well-rounded strength from it. Like you become thicker, like in your torso, and like you have better grip strength, and you do all that stuff. Yeah,
Thickums.
Get all that stuff, but then it's also fun to like grab the 100-pound sandbag with your hands and just pick it up and throw it. You're like, I can just grab this thing.
Do you want to do this?
I just want to grab this thing.
I'm like just.
And like if you have
ripped it with your fingers,
just grab. Like it feels good just to grab stuff and like just move it around, or like be able to like pick up a barbell just with one hand and move it. You know?
Oh yeah, like
or
you
just
feel powerful.
Like if you're like I want to move that rower, and you're just like that's okay, I'll just grab it and move it. Like that's what feels good to be able to do, like be capable like that. And I got away from that about like I used to just pick up.
Like that's what makes you feel good?
Yeah,
that's
just
not
being
what...
like physically powerful is fun.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But like not for that for me. I mean, it's like you should be able to move that. That's
like,
expected.
One of my most favorite things is during hose testing. I hate hose testing, but I can't remember what I was telling the story to recently. I don't know if it was recorded or not. And we roll up the 4-inch hose because we use 4-inch LDH, and so it's heavy. I don't know how heavy it is. It's over 100 pounds or 112 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is to watch somebody figure out how to get it on a hand cart, and I just get to pick it up and walk it across the bay floor to put it back on the rack and like flex on them a little bit, you know? It's my favorite thing in the world.
So douchey.
Very much. So I'll just do one, you know, and then like they'll still be figuring it out. I'll kind of point it out, then just grab another one, like move it closer to them. It's great. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that makes me feel good. But I got away from it. I was worrying too much about all the just stuff.
Okay.
You know? And then I program in a more organic way because programming remotely, it's hard to put intensity in when you're not watching, or it's like hard to put deadlifts in a program, or even like RDLs, front squats. It's hard to put those in without being in person. So you naturally limit that. Every front squat turns into like a double dumbbell or a single dumbbell front squat. Mm-hmm. That's great, but you can only go so heavy typically.
Well,
with
right,
those things,
exactly.
Right? So then I would do that because I'm testing out the programs. I'd be like, all right, let's do that one again.
Yeah.
And I'm limited to a landmine or a 80-pound kettlebell or the 50-pound dumbbell, instead of just going like, well, I'm just going to load up a front squat and hammer it out with 225 on it for funsies.
Yeah.
So I'm getting away from get away from being a nerd, and I'm just going to start lifting stuff again and try to be strong.
That's good. Yeah. I knew this was a good program when I realized that everything was the same for like 4 weeks, which is boring, but
it's great.
I mean,
it's great.
As someone who is going from physical therapy because of this stuff, even just the little resistant band stuff. Yeah. I mean, it works.
It all works.
It's boring, but it works.
I like that's not to say that I'm eliminating the smart stuff. The bands and all the accessory movements, I'm still down with. But you got to have an outlet in there to do what you like to do.
Well, that's essentially what I end up doing. Like, I go have my fun at, like, the CrossFit classes. Yeah. And then I do the boring stuff when I'm here.
That lets you do that fun stuff.
Yes, exactly. That allows me to do those things.
All right. Anything else? We got to be around 20 minutes by now.
Probably.
I'm guessing. Feel good?
I think it's fine.
Okay. We got plenty more opportunities. Don't worry. Whatever you think of, half hour after I leave, write it down so don't forget it next time.
Yeah,
that's when you start remembering
stuff down.
Yeah.
That happened last time we did an episode. I'm like, I should have said this. I should have said that.
It happens every single time.
Should have said that.
Infinite more opportunities to talk about it, though.
I just hope that people don't just have fitness goals, though, you know, for this upcoming year. Like, everyone has a fitness goal. And it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you can always start those things up. Mm-hmm. And it's easy. But think of something other than fitness. Yeah. How about a hobby? How about
a hobby?
Well,
how about a hobby nerd? I get it.
Well, you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Everything's always about fitness. Oh, I'm going to get... And I see people, January 1st, we're starting 75 hard.
Yeah. Nope.
Why would anyone want to do that?
Maybe we'll start the 14-ish again soon.
You should do that. I think make it a 30-ish.
It's too long.
Why is that too long?
Because the goal...
Isn't 3 weeks to start a habit? 21 days.
Not starting a habit. I'm giving you the tools to start a habit. So 14-ish was because we had a camping trip coming up. 14-ish was
around 2 weeks, right? Did that math quick. It's long enough to feel good because you've done it, but not so long that you got to be like, God, I got another 3 weeks of this or 2 weeks of this thing. So then after 2 weeks, you get to decide if you want to actually commit to this thing and like, or just continue to sustain the changes and the little adjustments you made. So
Yeah.
ours was for 2 weeks before our last one of these camping trips. It was like workout every day, big or small, like 50 push-ups could be your workout, and that's it.
Yeah, I remember that, or the squats.
Yeah, something. Workout, no alcohol, and like no eating after 8 o'clock. Those were the 3 monumental things, like very small adjustments that you're probably 1 degree away from already. Like you're probably just snacking at 8:30 because you're bored or whatever. And doing 100 squats, if that's your workout, that's 1 degree different than not doing anything,
Yeah.
you know? So it was just like these tiny little things that you want to get back to, and then after 2 weeks, you're like, nah, I want to have a drink again, and you go have a drink, and if you're like, yeah, it felt pretty good, then maybe you don't for another week, you know, but you get to kind of figure that out as you go, and it's not as hard as like, if you don't do the 75 hard, and you don't do 2 workouts a day and all these things, then it's over. It's like,
It's such a way to like
try again.
discourage yourself.
Yeah, you're just like, well, I'll try again tomorrow. I'm still doing it. That's why it's called the 14-ish, because it's like,
Yeah.
give or take. You get
Yeah,
a
I
couple
get it.
freebies in there
I
if you
get it.
screw up.
I do have a couple of friends who did do the 75 hard.
Yeah,
Good for them.
75 dumb. It's actually in
If
the
you can
slogan
do
for
it,
14-ish
like,
too.
that's awesome. But then
Yeah.
it's just like,
Nah.
wouldn't you rather be consistent?
Well, this is a
through the
different
whole
topic too,
year?
because this is one that we argued before, not you and I, but in general. The 75 hard and the whole 30 become crash diets then, because
Yeah.
you're not using the whole 30 the way it was designed to, just to figure out your sensitivities and then add stuff back in incrementally that's good, and then you live your life as a new person, not
Yeah.
taking in the bad. People are like, oh, I'm going to Mexico in March, so I better start my whole 30 pretty soon. It's like, because I know I'm going to drop 17 pounds just by doing that.
Yo-yoing. Just yo-yoing.
Yeah, it just turns into another tool. And same for 75 hard. It's like, well, I got to do my 2 attempts a year of 75 hard because that's what I do. So you get in great shape over 75 days and then coast back to whatever you were before. And then
Yeah.
just rely on another 75 hard in 4 months.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that too
Yeah.
some other time.
Yeah, we will. And the outworking a bad diet thing, because turns out you can.
I'm working on it.
You can.
Trying to prove it right now.
That's
trying
the
to
only
prove it
reason
right
why I work out. Oh, so you're just eating like crap and then working out?
I'm eating pretty much the same. Just
The
working
same
out
and just
now.
working out?
Yeah,
Have you had any progress yet?
a little bit.
There you go.
A little bit.
See?
Pretty much scientific study over here.
So awesome.
Do you want to wrap it up or should I?
You can wrap it up.
Okay. Go to fourthshiftfirefighter.com. Hit the buy me a coffee button. Angie bought me a coffee today.
Did.
She's against company policy, but I'll take it. Also, I won't get in your coffee selection. So hit the buy me a coffee button. Go on the website. You can look at Fourth Frontier. It's a heart rate monitoring strap. You got a big discount on that. Rescue One CBD, big discount on that. Project Fire Buddies link. I also restarted my product partnership with Hyperice. That's the massage gun and Normatec boot company, so that's pretty cool. We'll get some more information on that. And that's it. Keep on being capable and durable on the job and away from it, and be a force shift firefighter. And
Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.
Did you say Merry?
It's from a Merry New Year. It's from
Merry
a
New
movie.
Year.
Coming to
From
America.
before I was born or what?
Coming to America.
What? Never mind. Hi, guys.